only talk to people whom we know. And only social media and all that, only sometimes we come across these different people and we send them a friend request, but that is, the people are not there in front of you. It's like you have sent a friend request just like that, and the person is accepting the friend request also on the basis of whatever connections you have.
What's up, people? My name is Ankit Dwal. Welcome to Mountford Studio Show. Do you know how to run a design business successfully? No? I can teach you. Stay tuned because what's coming next can change your entire life.
So this just reminded me of this exercise of and this is how you should encounter newer experiences in your life, and creativity basically begins from there.
Yes. And like you were saying that the most of the girls do this. Once we are in the school time, we talk to girls. Girls will be coming to us and saying, asking for the problem. But once we are, leaving the colleges or in colleges also, we talk to our only classmates. We never go to another person. Even I have done this. I haven't talked to, some other people. Right now, I'm very open. I can talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, just come in,
Yeah.
share whatever your thoughts are. I'll be open to listen because our vice chancellor, I have done my diploma from LPU, Lovely Professional University, and I still remember that he said, "Be a good listener." So if you can listen to someone, it will be a great session. That's it. You will learn a lot from him, and in return also you will give some valuable information or any kind of, even the 1% you will give an impact on them. So now I'm open, but at that time, you just mentioned about the girls, I was very shy. Like what I'm doing, what I'm going to talk. It's like this. Also, like the creativity.
And today that even you're talking.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about that public speaking. So we also have experienced the same thing, na? In my when I started teaching, that whole sometimes there are 500 people sitting in front of you, and I've given presentations even to 1,000 people sitting in front of me, and there were certain incidences when it happened, and same principle I applied, as if I am sharing myself, and I am talking to one particular person, and you just focus on that particular person and talk about it. You imagine as if it is you, and it's a dialogue which you are creating with yourself, and then that's how you impress the entire mob, because you are not worried whether they will accept you or no. You are not having that fear in you. So if you are not fearful, the communication will be very easy.
Yeah, like this is also like one thing. We are having a web developer with us. His name is Kapil. He's a very good person. His approach is like, if this is not going to work, what will happen? Only you will get rejected. You will not die. This is the worst case scenario, that you can die.
Correct.
Okay, if you're not talking, if you are not conveying your message, what will happen? Only the rejection. You will face the rejection. In life, you have faced multiple rejections. If one more is coming, what will happen? Nothing else. You move on. As simple as that. Keep your life as simple as you can. You will achieve many things, and you will enjoy the most of the part of it. So I have learned this thing from him also. Like I'm sending the cold emails or the cold calling, I'm doing this process myself also. What will happen? He will not pick the phone, or he will not reply. That's it. What else can be done? So, yeah, and like after coming to the creative part more, I have enjoyed this, innovations and then research part more. And if you are into the business, you have to be open minded. Okay, because if I'll be keeping myself conservative, there will be no person or the no sales happening. At the end, what my client is expecting me, okay, and what I'm going to deliver with them. This is it. Also, like this is you have so much of experience. We are talking to each other. You have in the various department. How would you describe yourself? Who is Nitin Kulkarni right now? Keeping apart your profession away, as your personal experience, and how you will convey this in one word or in any medium you would like to have. Who is Nitin Kulkarni right now with so much experience?
Now I have to come. Now I have to come to one field, which is poetry.
Okay.
And there is in my poem I call myself
Mhm.
Metaka. Now this word doesn't exist in any language. It is
Okay.
not there in Marathi also, in Hindi
Mhm.
also. Metaka. I call myself Metaka. Metaka is
Okay.
a creature who is a volatile creature,
Mhm.
a creature which is vulnerable creature. You know, I don't consider myself. I consider most of the time vulnerable. You know,
Mhm.
and I I I have learned the technique to be vulnerable at every
Mhm.
point of time, and I think uh, that's it. I don't consider anything else,
Okay.
because most of the time I am that. Even if I'm sitting in a big meeting, or I'm delivering some lecture, but at a corner I know that I am nobody. I'm this creature, a
Mhm.
very minuscule creature which is trying to live his life on this earth. And
Okay.
this reminds me of one of the story of Kafka. I don't know whether you have read Kafka,
No.
uh, and his one of the story of metamorphosis. So the story begins like this: that today morning I got up and I realized that I have been converted into a big insect, a
Mhm.
beetle kind of insect, and that story goes on like that. So the entire story, he's narrating himself as an insect. So he has
Mhm.
converted that into. So I think uh, forgetting that whatever you have achieved, that I want to forget every day. I want to forget, though you don't forget. That is the
Mhm.
human nature, and the brain doesn't allow you to forget everything. But most of the time, I'm successful in forgetting. In fact, I forget even students' names once they're out. Till the time the student is there with me, I remember it very well. But the moment the student is away, I said that I usually say that I am there with you. When you will call me back, I'm there with you. So I will not say that why did you call after so long.
Mhm.
So one has to remain as you are. You without expectations. If you can
Huh.
live life without expectations, I
Mhm.
think that's what one wants to achieve. But that humanness, we know that there are going to be expectations.
Mhm.
But the moment that those expectations arrive, you should be alert and you should be aware about those.
Mhm.
So, so
It,
becoming aware about these humanly wants, I think made me make this whole word called Metka. It's like I am that creature who is not satisfied and trying to live my life. So
Mhm.
that is it. I really don't go by these designations and all that. I have
Mhm.
never believed in designation. In fact, but then world wants that. World wants
Mhm.
that kind of recognition. So one has to use it, but don't rely on it. For
Mhm.
longer period of time.
Okay. Yeah. And it's like have no expectations. And then, like earlier, also I was talking that the number one lesson that I have learned is like not to regret anything in life.
Correct.
Okay. We make certain decisions which has a huge impact on us. If we'll be thinking, if I've done this, if I've done that, if things were like that, we will not go or move ahead. This is what I've learned. Never regret
Correct.
anything. If your relationship or if you have taken a decision, like I was just mentioning that I have
Hmm.
said no to a
Hmm.
very huge deal. Okay,
Correct.
but I said no. Now I have to live with the consequences that I'm facing or what is. Same way happens with the relationships also. if there is a relationship from 8 to 9 years, okay, something happened, you can get back some other day, some other time,
Mm.
but the situation was like going away from it. So don't regret about that. Like it's a human nature, you will always keep on remembering. But if you will keep on thinking about that particular instance or that particular decision, so how you will face the new challenges in life if you are still stuck behind that only, behind in that moment only. So this is what I've learned. I don't know how it is correct or not, but yeah, it has helped me in many ways.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah, and like it's like we are going to a different um topic or session. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. This time, I'm also feeling that we are digressing
Mhm.
from the
Our
main
main
topic,
topic, and yes,
but
but I think it's a
but it's
part.
fine. But it's
Yeah.
fine because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I have learned, that there is nothing like
Mm-hmm.
nothing decided actually. When we
Mm-hmm.
try to confine things together, it becomes when you're clear, okay, there is a clear agenda, then obviously you
Mm-hmm.
stick to that agenda. But as far as the things are little open, let them be open.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And I always say this: we are in the design community. We are with the creative, and
Yeah.
creatives struggle through a lot. They don't know how to take the decisions. Okay, I have done a session on that also. There's a full episode
Um,
where I have my uncle on that. He has worked with so many people in the ministry department. Okay, he has
mhm,
given his views on how to take a decision, how designers can, or designers, not only designers, but from the other fields also, how you can
mm,
cope up with things. What is the correct age to get married? Okay, if you are not taking the decision at a particular time, there will be complications later on. So he has given his experience and like uh, his point of view on that. So I think whosoever is listening to us, he will be relating to this at some point or the other. He will be going through these certain phases, like what you have gone through, and whatever the moments you have cherished. Same is with me also. So this is very important to talk. If we are open to something, but in our openness, there will be some teachings along with it. This is what I'm feeling right now, and this is definitely going to help our listeners and the designing community. And like we were talking about the innovations, okay, and we had a discussion on this also earlier, like uh, about the video of Mr. Shashi Tharoor. Okay,
mm,
I'm coming to this topic, and then we'll
yeah,
see
yeah,
what is your point of view, like
yes.
about the how Shashi Tharoor was saying that India is more known to be a place of jugaad. Okay,
Mm,
but we need something different. How we invented the number zero. Okay, we need something more people like this. I'm having a different point of view. You might be having a different point of view. So designers need to think according to that only. How they can think about new solutions, do a proper research, come up with new ideas, rather than going with the jugards. This is what I feel, that we should leave jugards and look for innovations and new solutions. Uh, I would like to know what you feel about this.
yeah. Basically, what I feel is design, jugaad, and innovation. As far as in India,
Mhm.
these are not separate things for me, because but they become separate in the context of uh, our economy, our community, the communities which are living in different conditions in India. It's not that we are sitting in cities. Suppose the kind of experience which I am getting in city,
Mhm.
and the kind of experience which somebody is getting in a small town and in a village. These experiences and these problems which we are facing are going to be of different nature altogether.
Mhm.
So innovation, when we say, it appears as if it's more corporate related or more sophisticated related, activity. And when we say jugaad, we consider it as if it's more to do with the rural or very inferior or very daily kind of activity. But main crux of the whole issue is that we use these different terminologies. Ultimately, what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to improve the life conditions in which we are living, and solving the problems, whatever problems we have around us. If we are being able to solve those problems with whichever means, I think that is more important according to me. And when there will be a certain chain which will be created, that will actually suffice the whole thing. Because suppose we don't have proper amenities, proper normal amenities which are required to live a life on earth. If those amenities also are not given to certain communities, or there is a lack of those amenities, then the problem solving will be on a very different level altogether. So there jugaad has to be there. You cannot always have because you need, suppose there is a problem in your own home, some equipment has collapsed, suppose, and you want to repair that, and there is a possibility that you can open it and you can repair that. First of all, you have to check whether you can open it with the screwdriver which you have. So if then first thing what you do is you just go and search for some knife which has a point and you try to open through that. But if you can't do through that, then you have to go and buy one screwdriver which is exactly fitting that head of the screw.
Correct.
That is the first thing. So this is infrastructure. You need infrastructure for sophisticated solutions, right? But if you don't have infrastructure, then obviously using whatever you have with you have to, because ultimately you have to repair it. Today, if you will not repair it, you are going to face problem because you will not survive tomorrow. You have to solve the problem today itself. So I don't consider jugaad as something inferior. That is not long term. Definitely, it is not long term. But then frugal innovation is there after that. Frugal innovation deals with much more systematic approach within jugaad, and then there is a industrial approach. So I know how many industries are using jugaad. One of my students was telling me that day that proper manufacturing unit is there, and within that they are using so much of jugaad for utilizing steam. How to utilize steam, because they need steam to for certain fabric to be ironed or something like that. So he was showing me the pictures that these industries are using jugaad. So ultimately, according to me, these are just the nomenclatures which are used. But such a vast country like ours, we have to have multiple approaches to solve problems. And when all those multiple approaches will come together in a chain, I think the development will automatically take place.
So, don't you think we should? It's like jugaads are like the many alternatives to a problem. The definition, and we can call this a definition
because it is survival. No, it is basically meant for survival. And suppose my survival is based on certain activities. Of suppose I want to travel from one place to the other. Such basic activities, it has to be based on certain model which is available. I cannot be original there, because that kind of resource, because I have to be certain minimum requirements of life have to be met, and then only I can go and say, okay, I will take a leap and I will create something which is very original, and that kind of mindset, I don't think at this level we should expect that kind of mindset from each segment of this society in India today. But definitely for us it is demanding, because we already have reached a certain level of living and certain education. Now it is imperative that we have to develop certain innovations which are more sustainable and more the entire life cycle of those systems needs to be taken care of. I cannot say I will just develop a certain solution which will last only for few months. I cannot have that approach, because I already have gained certain kind of level of infrastructure and certain kind of facilities, but certain group of people still don't have those amenities, and their jugaad is the only way which they can use. And there are so many people who are working towards that also. There are so many organizations, people. In fact, there is one, I will give one example, that there is no proper wheelchair which is available below 10,000 rupees. If you have to buy a wheelchair for underprivileged people, don't have that facility. They don't have facility of toilets, especially the people who are, handicapped, physically challenged people don't have proper amenities, and there is a great need of designers who can develop such kind of solutions for them. In fact, I was talking to someone yesterday that we will be, developing certain solutions towards that. So our students will be taking up that as a project. So there are so many small needs which are there, which are not spoken about, or which are not, and which are very vital, which are very important, which needs to be, tackled. Certain solutions should be created for those, and that is possible with multiple approaches. And jugaad is one of the approaches which is becoming very important, and India is known for that in the world.
Yeah, and it, like you were having conversation, I was having one conversation with my friend around I don't know, 1 month early, or I don't remember the particular time, but he agreed to me that we need proper solution instead of the jugaads. Okay, like he gave me an example of a European country who has hired designers for whole country planning. Okay, so what they are doing is a special department is being set up. The administrative departments and different departments will be there, but main focus will be put on the designers, how they will be building the city, how buildings will be developed, how the look and feel will be there, how street will be looking like, everything will be done by the designers only, so that they can have a better town planning, less pollution. Okay, because they are not planning to go with the bikes or the automobile cycles. Electric cycles will be used. So these are the kind of things, the innovations that they are going to come up with. So it's a very good thing, and I think that implementation should be tested and tried in India at a smaller scale. Okay, if this is like implemented and the results are getting successful, then we should scale it step by step, not taking to the whole state and then saying that, let's suppose, let's transform whole Maharashtra, or let's transform the whole Himachal. This is not the correct approach, that I think. But yes, it should be implemented in some parts and see what are the results, what are the innovative solutions we can give, and how the data is coming out. So I think this approach should be implemented, and different people should be hired for this. And if jugaad can also help in this, I don't mind using that approach.
No, basically the problem is of scale. No, the moment you say, okay, it has to be on a larger scale, then you have to create the entire infrastructure for that, and then you will need funding, and you will need all that thing will be needed to solve the problem. And in India, you don't have that kind of a enterprise which will, that kind of organization, that kind of convincing becomes very difficult for two systems and the people who are sitting as the head of those systems. So rather than from bottom up approach will be more required, and that's where this whole jugaad thing becomes more important. But I'm not saying jugaad is a not from the point of view of jugaad as a temporary solution. What I'm saying is that the approach of jugaad, the approach of solving the problem, and then when you want to solve the problem, you see whatever resources are available right now with you. So that approach, I think, is more important. I got a chance to even develop a curriculum. There is an innovation curriculum which I have developed, and there is one subject on Jugaad innovation.
Okay.
So basically, there we try to do is we try to use the Jugaad principles for higher level of innovation. So how that entire human ability to solve problem and urge to solve the problem is more important, and that is taken forward. So Jugaad doesn't mean temporary solution. Temporary solution is one approach there, because if you want to survive, you have to have a temporary solution today, and it is something similar to when handle is broken, you just put a sellotape on that and you use that handle. But that is not, that it is not temporary, but it with which you will be able to at least survive today, tomorrow, till the time a permanent solution is received. And India is very good in this. But the adjusted to their situation.
Adjusted and used to it.
So they don't want to scale it up. So that problem we need to tackle. So scaling up has to be implemented, and organizations should take lead, because unless and until organizations are taking lead, this will not happen. On an individual level, this cannot happen. So that's where there is a great amount of possibility of different kinds of business ventures in multiple smaller towns and smaller places. This kind of enterprising approach should be done, and I think this process has already started, because process has already started, and design is entering into so many different domains also today.
Yeah, correct. And I think if we are looking around 5 to 10 years ahead, we are having a very bright future. All the designers, instead of opting for different fields, I think they should be opting for the design, so that the creativity and technology can be mixed together, and something very good or better can be given to the humankind.
Absolutely. And then in the same connection, there are humanities. The institutions of humanities are emerging greatly, and they are trying to integrate technology with science and creativity, arts. So I think the journey has already started of this, whatever we were talking about, the holism, looking at life as a whole, and then developing certain solutions for that. Now that division of technology and arts and sciences will not happen. We have to integrate all these things, and design is the field which easily can integrate these different fields together. And that process has already started. There are so many institutions which are innovative institutions are emerging in India, which are teaching indirectly design. So they may not be addressing design as a whole, but certain aspects of design are dealt by them. And even design institutions are shading their earlier image of design means only aesthetically pleasing objects. So no more we have to leave that entire approach of just aesthetics and move towards more concrete solutions. And that process has already started.
Like I also enjoy into like interior designing also. I always send, I don't know. I always keep this thing. I don't know. I know multiple things. Yeah. I go to Instagram. Okay. Whatever the best architect or whatever beautiful designs, the whole interior, the house is coming, I immediately copy the link and then send it to my mom. Mom, see how it is looking, and it's very nice. And when it comes to building my own house, like we recently bought a flat, and I was like blank. What to do? I have so many things to see.
Correct.
Yeah. And one more thing, like we have been talking for a long time. I would also like to know what is the most valuable lesson that someone has given to you. It can be from any time, like from your childhood till now. What is the most advice that you still remember? Life lesson advice that you still remember?
I remember one thing very clearly. Now, when you ask this question to me, I can think of only that moment, and a very transforming moment for me. It was a very minuscule thing. It was a very minor thing, but that small thing has remained in my head. And whatever I have been speaking, whatever we have been talking, I think at the back of that, this particular thing was there. I mentioned to you about Prabhakar Barve, the eminent painter, and I consider him as my guru, because without him, I might not have got such a clear vision about this entire approach. Doesn't mean that I have not remained in fine art as a professionally I have not pursued that as a career, but once, because I had created this entire dissertation, I did the entire my dissertation, which was my graduation, was based on his research, which I did on his art, and I created that. And those times there was no printing, there was no sophisticated typing or anything. Typing was there, but it was very expensive, electronic typing. So I had to write all my entire thesis was written on a piece of paper with hand. So, and it took a lot of time. I remember, I think for more than 15-20 days, I was just writing the thesis on him. And he had already given me a lot of photographs, because photographs also was another issue, because there was no internet. You can download images and you can just print. So all that, I had created that book, and I had put my entire heart and soul in that. And after this thing preparation, I just went to him, and I, with a lot of eagerness, I showed that to him. And he just went through very diligently, very properly. He went through it. But I was expecting that he will talk a lot on that. But instead of talking, he just closed that book and kept it aside and said, "This is done now. Now you forget about this."
Okay.
This was one thing he said. And you continue with whatever you have been doing. I did not realize what exactly was the meaning of that. But I, in due course with my own life and with my own life experience, I realized what exactly he meant. He meant that doesn't matter whatever big thing you're done, and you think that it's a big thing or a big achievement you're done in your life, keep it aside.
This is wonderful.
And move on. So keep it aside and don't have any kind of a boasting about it. Don't have any kind of a pride. Pride in terms of feel good factor, definitely you have to have. But that doesn't mean that you will take it on your head and you will keep talking about it to the world, saying that you've done such a great job. So you have to decide that you will keep it aside, and you will say that, okay, this is done, not done. I'm not going to look at it again. How one can, and doesn't mean that you will be able to forget that. But then when you deliberately do that act, that you have kept it aside, the new chapter starts in your life. The new thing will not come to you unless and until you empty something. So you have to empty your mind every time. Unless and until you empty it, a new thing is not going to come into your mind. So that, I think, is the biggest lesson. And that act was very simple. He just kept it and used to sit on a bed, and he was sitting like that, and he just kept it sideways. So I felt, I wanted to discuss something more, but he just saw and he said, keep it aside. Now you move on.
I think
so.
we uh, we meet with such kind of people in a very few time, and we never forget them.
We never forget them.
We never forget them. Yeah, I think.
And whenever I used to, say that, wanted to extend something, he always used to cut it. Or he was always used to say, "Okay, done with it. No need to extend that. No need to unnecessarily create a hype about that." So that part, I think, is the most important. And in today's time, it has become so much important. Important that every time in social media you are, you know, you're seeking for gratification. You're seeking for so many likes and this and that. No, you are there because you are living today in 2020. So you are there on Insta, but that doesn't mean that you have to always seek for that gratification. So every time you have to make yourself alert, saying that no, you are just there. You are not there to grab something from there. If you get something from there, fine, you work with it, but don't just work for that kind of gratification or that kind of achievement. I think that is the greatest learning I would like to share.
Yeah, this is wonderful. This is wonderful, and I think I'm kind of feeling blessed right now, because the more I'm talking to people, and the more I'm. This is my pet question. You can say, when I have asked this to everyone. Okay, what is the most life lesson advice, or an advice that you can never forget till now in your entire lifespan? So each and every person is having a different, and they have met a person who has given this, or given this advice to them, and they never forget, and they tell to others also. Okay, this is what I've learned, and you should also think about it. Like, um, uh, we were talking about this thing, like, whatever you have done. So I can correlate to this right now. Whatever you have done, just keep it aside. Like, if you're a designer, an artist, or something, okay, belonging to creative field or any other field, whatever work you have done, keep it aside. Okay, and then go to the other side. Okay, look how other person or the other group of people will be reacting to it, whether they will like it or not. So this is one thing that I remember. Okay, and one more advice was given by my sir only. He said that घड़ा पकने में time लगता है. है ना? And he left at that point only. He explained the meaning, but it was a very few words that I still remember. And as I'm talking to different people, and the advices that I'm getting, it's wonderful. And what you have shared right now is also wonderful. And I'm thinking, yeah, this needs to be implemented. So this is a very good interactive session, and we get to know each other. So this is the whole reason for bringing the different design community, or the artist community, creative community, basically. So bring along, have a session, talk to each other, and from our conversation, let others uh, teach or get the knowledge. Okay, because
this is very good, very important.
Yeah. This is
if
one.
Just two people are talking, then that will go in the air. Only those two people will be benefited. But when it is on this kind of platform, it will reach to others also.
And currently, I'm not worried about the views or the likes, or any other thing. I'm just here to give and share the knowledge.
One person will be getting something, and that is enough.
Correct. If I'm able to make them like 1% impact on anyone, my mission is accomplished. That's it.
Correct.
That's the only motive that I'm having right now. So I think it's been a long session, and we should end this.
Yeah.
It was nice talking to you, and I really enjoyed everything. Once it is live, I'll let you know. Okay, and definitely we'll come back again. Have a different topic on to talk.
Yeah, on a specific topic maybe.
I don't know. Let's go with the flow.
Going with the flow is the most important thing.
Correct.
Yeah. I also enjoyed talking to you because hardly you get to talk to somebody about your own self, your own life, and similarly understand about other person's life. So this kind of time is a leisure now. Like 1 hour, more than 1 hour talking to somebody has become very rare.
Correct.
So from that point of view, also it is good. Even if it is not aired, I am happy.
Chalo. Okay, and then let's end this session. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Same to you.
Thanks for joining me. Let's wrap up the show, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to resolve them as soon as I can. Do follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can continue to create content for you guys which will help you in running design business successfully.